Hello, it's Belinda from Belinda's Book Nook, and welcome to my channel. I haven't been here in so long. It's like I've just had a hard time getting here and sitting here and setting up, and so much easier in my car. But just no worries, I won't have videos only in my car. I will still continue to have them at other locations. So here I am to talk about some books. I have one more video I think I'm going to try to squeeze in before the year's up, but to talk a little bit about my channel. I'm really pleased with this year in terms of the amount of videos I was able to produce. For me, it's definitely up from what I did the year prior, and that's all I care about. I just want to continue to improve each year. And I came up with some great series that I'd like to continue into the new year. I'm really excited about taking the family history one a little further and doing some more fun things with that. The one on my Kindle, the Secrets of My Kindle, I definitely want to continue that one because I just have so many books I need to read. So I think that that is a good one to kind of just call me out on what I've done, the crime I've committed and how I can correct it. So that is really, something that I look forward to doing next year. And just talking books, I'm hoping. I've never participated in a buddy read. I have been invited to do, but I've always declined them just because of my slow reading. So I may do one of those this year coming up. And I have to make a confession. I am not going to reach my Goodreads goal this year. Yes, I said it. I'm not reaching my goal this year. I'm only a few books away, but there's so many. I feel like I'm missing out on enjoying the season when I'm trying to rush to finish books. Like my goal for next year would be almost done or done with my goals in November, so that December can just be the normal crazy, not the crazy adding on books to read. Because I was really I'm getting ready to go away for the holiday and be with family, and I was going to try to sneak books in with me and try to grab moments to see if I could finish, and meet this goal. And I'm like, that's really just not what it's about. It is to challenge you, but it's not to take away from your life and the experiences of being with family and friends. So sadly, I don't even know what they say in Goodreads, like, where you didn't make your goal. I don't know. Just like, I don't know, just boos come out of the screen. I don't know, but that's my confession. My other confession is I haven't read that much this month either. So I'm going to talk to you about the few things that I have read. And my throat is a little yucky. I don't have a cold. I'm just denying this because I don't want to be sick over the holidays, but I definitely have a little something going on. Usually in the morning. So let's see. Where we're going to begin. Let's start here because this is always so challenging for me to get through on my little Kindle here. So I've always wanted to read Beverly Jenkins books. And I've seen Dee Dee. I've seen a lot of people read her book. I think Dee Dee just read her this year too. And was like, yeah, she's good. And I keep putting her on my TBR, and I've never read anything. She writes kind of I'm going to say, maybe this isn't right description, but I feel like they're historical fiction romance, usually with Black people. And that's my description of the type of books. And so I really like that. I love historical fiction, and this year was the year of me reading a little bit more of romantic stuff, or contemporary, whatever you want to call it. So this first one that I did read was called Rebel, and I think I heard Dee Dee talking from Brown Girl Reading about it this year, and I was like, I put it on my hold list, and it came up, and I was like, ooh, I forgot what I was reading. This is the year of me just like dropping things, and going on to something else. So I picked it up. And this is the cover of it. Let's see if I can get it to be bigger. Yeah. Oh, my screen's acting funny. Oh no. Okay, well, here's a little bit of it. Let's see if you can see it. Um, it is set in New Orleans, and the main character, her name is Belinda, which I liked because it's close to Belinda. Um, Belinda and Lacey, and she's from up north, and she's traveling to go and help basically the newly emancipated people in New Orleans learn to read. And so I think the church that she belongs to up north has given her grants to open up a school. So, it gives you, what I loved about the book is that it's telling a story, but within that story, she's weaving in some historical details in terms of, what it was like at the time. What people think sometimes of emancipation, and it was like, yay, a big celebration and a party. But, there were people that did not want that to occur, and you just don't turn, it's not like a light switch. You turn from bad to good that way. Things were more gradual. And so she does touch on that with regard to some of the characters that are in the book. And then there's a gentleman that she meets. An incident occurs, and he kind of comes to her aid, and his name is Captain Drake Levesque. And he's from an actual wealthy family from New Orleans, and they are, I won't say anymore to just spoil the story, but those two are the two that are going to meet for the romantic interest. But I really, really enjoyed the story. It was romantic. It was definitely steamy in some parts. I was blushing, just like the Jasmine Gilroy book, the first one I read. This one had details like that book. If you've read any of her books, especially the first book of hers, was very detailed. So I was reading one day too, this one and Rebel, and my son came in the room to ask me for something, and I was like, what? Okay. And he can't see what I'm reading or anything, but I look so guilty, and here I am, the parent. So, but it was excellent. I highly recommend it. I'm totally on board reading more of her books. I'm so happy I finally did it because I really wanted to, and I've heard only good things. So that was the first thing. The next thing I did was a little small children's book that I came across when I was in my Hoopla account, and now it's not going to pull it over. Let me see if I can get it. And it's called Sulwe, and it's by Lupita. How do you pronounce her last name? I think Nyong, and she's the actress. Some of you may know her in Black Panther. She's been in so many movies, and this story is about this little girl, and there she is right there, a little dark brown little girl, and her basically learning to love herself and to love her color. I wish that I had this book when I was little. I could have used that as a great self-esteem booster, but I love how they interwove like kind of a mythology and to describe and why her color is so great and why there's varied colors and stuff. I think it's an excellent book. I don't know if I can, my thing is acting funny, or I would let you see the illustrations. The illustrator is Vashiti Harrison. Oh, if anything else, just go look inside and look at the illustrations on the book. It's really, really beautiful. I almost want to see if I can, my niece is kind of older now. I don't really have younger ones, but I would love to buy that for them because it's just such a good book. So that was something I read really quick and fast. And then my last book, you all know because I showed it to you when I got it, and I was so happy, and that was Children of Virtue and Vengeance, which is the second book in this trilogy by Tomi Adeyemi. Isn't it? It's still I'm still loving the cover. I don't know which one. I brought out the old one. Which cover do you like better? This is the first one, and this is the second one. They're so pretty. Look at that. The first one is definitely bigger. Look, the book was definitely bigger, but she had to establish it's a science, like a fantasy. She had to establish what was about. So I think that needed for it to be a thick book, but it read very fast. Loved this book, and I'm waiting for the movie. I can't wait for the movie to come out. I'm trying to be, you know, excited but hold back a little bit because you know that the book's always going to be better because in your mind you have something different. I can't really tell you anything about this. I don't know how people talk about second books in series because I don't want to spoil what's from this to this. What I will say is the story continues on and it's really good. She did a great job of going into detail about some more aspects of the story and then bringing the story further. And leaving you at the end knowing that there's definitely more to be. I mean, like the end was really like, what? Where? Okay. So, yeah. So it's definitely a little cliffhanger to leave you at the end. But I really enjoy it. I don't think you have to, like, you know, some people might shy away from this because they're like, oh, I don't like fantasy. I don't think this is like, I'm not an expert on fantasy, but I don't think that this is hard fantasy. I think this is something that mainstream reading can just enjoy without it. I loved it because they were Black characters, to be honest with you. And I loved how, you know, the kings and the queens, they were Black people. You know, aside from our Black Panther, you really don't get that in any novels. And it's really nice to see yourself in the characters when you read the books. So I'm really excited about book 3, but I know book 3 is probably years out. What I did, which I've never done before, is I don't reread books because if you look on my bookshelves and you see how many books I have, it would be shameful for me to reread when I have so many books that I've bought and not read. But what I did do is I found the audiobook of this one, and when they finally released the final date that this is coming out, about a week before this came out, I got the audiobook and I listened to it so that I could kind of remember who the different groups of people were and what happened, where it left off and stuff, which was phenomenal, which I almost think I'm going to definitely do with this one before I read the next one because it was, I can't remember who the voice talent was, but it was really, really good. So anyways, that's all I really have done. I don't want to go over time because the editing thing makes me mad. I have one more possible video. If not, I will see you all in the new year. And I hope you guys have a nice, safe holiday. Buy some books, relax, and have some fun with family. I'll talk to you later. Bye.